everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Honestly Bilal. I'm your host, Bilal Ahmed, and I'm a fourth-year medical student at the University of Toledo. And you're watching and listening to Honestly Bilal, the show for the aspiring ophthalmologist, where I sit down and talk with medical students who are interested in ophthalmology, residents training in ophthalmology, and current ophthalmologists in the field today. My guest today is Maela Hyder. Maela is a fourth-year medical student at the University of Kentucky College of Medicine. We actually got connected through a previous guest of mine, Dr. Kitchens, who is a good mentor and a nice person who actually we both know kind of well at this point. And now we're here together talking about some ophthalmology and talking about Maela's story. So Maela, welcome.
Thank you, Bilal, for having me here. This is a great opportunity, and this is a great thing that you're doing for us med students and programs. And thank you to Dr. Kitchens for introducing us.
Yep, absolutely. And you told me that that you actually came from Pakistan directly to the United States, and you started your medical studies here. So talk about that journey. How did you come from Pakistan to the United States, and what kind of brought you along the way here?
Yeah. So, Bilal, when I look back now, it just seems like an amazing journey, and it was full of adventures. And I never thought I would be here where I am today, 7 years ago. So I was born and raised in Karachi, Pakistan. I know you mentioned your family's from Pakistan as well.
Yep. But yeah.
Lahore? Okay, yeah, a great town. So I'm from Karachi, and my mother's a single mother, so I was always very focused on education. And I didn't know exactly I wanted to go into medicine before, but I knew that education was my way out. And, with your family being from Pakistan, you know that education does not come free over there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of barriers. So I was always merit-based education, and the immigration is a very interesting story because we just sort of forgot about it. It took almost 10 years for our application to go through. So at that point, we just, it was just on the side. We weren't really thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then just right after finishing high school, somehow it went through, and we were called in for an interview after 10 years. And it was perfect timing. So it was me, my mom, and my younger sister, and we decided to move here to the US. It was very exciting. It was the light at the end of the tunnel, and I knew, this was going to be great. So that's how I ended up here. And we came to Kentucky directly, and it's a nice little town, more diverse than you think.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So now you're here, and that's funny because I think a lot of people, even my parents, who always joke about this with them, me and my sisters, that it's funny how when they were probably our age or 20-something years old, and they were living in Lahore or Karachi, Pakistan, you kind of like never would have imagined being in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, or Lexington, Kentucky, and it's just funny how life works. But talk about how your interest in medicine sort of developed.
So first, when I started to lean into ophthalmology and think about that, and that exposure was, so one of the jobs I've had many random jobs, and they really keep you grounded and humble. So I love my job experiences. And one of the pharmacists, he's at St. Joe, and he would tell me about his lifelong battle with glaucoma. He had multiple retinal detachments, and he would talk about how committed the ophthalmologists were to keeping his vision so he could do what he worked for his entire life. And that got me interested in ophthalmology. And then University of Kentucky, there's amazing exposure there. I'm sure you would agree with that. And Dr. Maldonado, he's a retina genetics physician at UK, and I was in his clinic, and we had a retinitis pigmentosa patient. And the patient's mom was telling us that just 5 years ago, when her son got this diagnosis, she asked the physician, okay, what's next for us? And he goes, there's nothing we can do about it at this point. And so it was amazing to me that in 5 years' time, this patient can be enrolled in at least 1 or 2 clinical trials for gene therapy. Yep. So that kind of just really honed in that interest of mine. Moving here, it was exciting, but when we came here, it had its own challenges. The first thing was the language barrier, and I was fortunate to learn some English in school, so I was a little better when it comes to that, so I didn't have to learn from scratch. But my mom had a lot of trouble with it. She had very limited English skills, and my sister was very young. So I immediately realized, I had to be the support of the family. my dreams, we had to put it on hold. We had to put my education on hold because we had to just settle down first, and just get everything started. So I didn't know if I was going to start back school. That was a very nerve-wracking time for me, but was very fortunate. I was able to start working with Humana Insurance Company. It was interesting because I had to learn a whole new healthcare system in 2 weeks' time. And I was able to compare that, from Pakistan and here. So that was a good time for me. And I formed these lifelong, amazing friendships at that job. And there was a point when I was working almost 80 hours a week. So it was very crazy in the beginning.
Yeah.
And of course, like, when you come here, as a new immigrant, you're not eligible for Medicaid, you're not eligible for any of the food stamps or other benefits. So we were uninsured for a very long time, and heavily relied on community clinics for care. So that sort of nudged me into that direction. It's like, when I start doing this, this is what I want to do. And I started with one class at a community college because that's all I could afford, and that's all I could do with a full-time job. And it just started from there. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, props to you, kudos to you to take, to really dig deep and put what matters, family first when, sacrifices have to be made. Completely respect you for that. And that's kind of work ethic and values that I think will make you an awesome resident. So that's going to be really exciting to see where you end up down the road. So, talking about that, I know that, that maybe that sort of, that introduction to the community clinics through your own life, that's kind of inspired you to kind of be involved in the local community and the statewide community and community care. So talk about that and what those kind of initiatives that you've been a part of and what they've meant to you.
So there's two amazing clinics here at University of Kentucky. We have the Nathaniel Mission Clinic, and we have the Salvation Army clinic as well at the Women's Homeless Shelter. So I frequently volunteer there. It's a great way. I love hearing the stories of these amazing patients. They're all from the underserved community here in Lexington. It is great one-on-one time with the attendings, learning hands-on with the ophthalmology equipment, which is a big learning curve. And it's amazing because we can connect them with the UK services and we can get them free eyeglasses. So it's a very rewarding experience for me because I was there in their shoes not very long ago.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I think the one thing that you've translated what you care about from your own life into what you care about from a clinical and professional life too, and that's going to make you I think those are the kind of things that really drive passion and empathy too, because you know what it's like to be on both sides, and I respect that very deeply. And so Maela, I know that there's your upcoming educational event that you want to tell us about that you're a part of. So let's hear about that.
Yeah, so Bilal, we're working with the Refugee Ministries of Kentucky and developing an educational seminar, working with the residents here at UK, and we'll be talking about the common ophthalmologic conditions, presbyopia, cataracts, etc. And the goal here is to just tell them the clinical signs and symptoms, and then connect them with the resources available to them that they can use to get better care.
Awesome. Yeah, I know refugee care is something that, I think a lot of people have learned more about in the past few years. So keep doing that. I'm looking forward to it. That's the kind of inspiration going forward. I'm sure will carry you into many different places with a new perspective, and to offer other people that perspective too. They'll continue doing that hard work. I think it's going to carry you far. So, we talked about community service, talked about ophthalmology a little bit, talked about your interest in medicine. Applications are in now. Are you doing anything fun? Are you getting back to any of your old hobbies or things that you started doing before med school or anything like that?
So it's interesting. During med school was when I started exploring all the fun things, and with COVID, I've been cooking a lot, and I'm starting to learn Pakistani food.
Nice.
I just learned to make biryani.
Oh, hey, dinner. Check mark. That's an awesome dish to know. That's a good one.
Yeah, so I just learned with my mom how to make biryani, and the next thing on the list is nihari. I don't know if you know about that.
Yeah, I know Nari.
So lots of things that I need to learn. I'm also like trying to create these like fusion foods.
Mm-hmm.
with just Desi combined with American. So that's new for me. And then I also other fun things. I also like to play a lot of board games. I'm a big board game person. I like Ludo. Have you played Ludo before?
Yeah, I have a long time ago though. It's been a while, but it's a good one. I know. I mean, all my friends, cousins, everybody plays Ludo. So yeah, I've been around. I'm on the outside, but I'll get more into it hopefully down the road too.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun to play with family and friends.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Very nice. So it looks like life is going in a good direction for you. If you know Dr. Kitchens, then you're in the right place already. So I think that's having a good mentor like that and somebody who you're doing research with or working with in a clinical setting. That just knowing your story a little bit and talking to you briefly as much as I've gotten to know you, that's you have all the right tools, and I can't wait to see what you do. So wishing you all the best. And are you on social media? Is there any place that people who are in medicine can follow you?
Yeah, I'm on both on Instagram and Facebook. It's been amazing the use of social media in these COVID times to connect with people. So I'm loving it.
Awesome. So I will, if you want, I'll put your user handle in the description for this episode, and people who can follow you can network with you more. And I'm sure there are a lot of people who are going to be inspired by your story and what you've done. So keep doing great work. Keep fighting for your community and fighting for the things that you care about. And I think that we'll all leave this conversation with a little bit more of inspiration to do that too.
Thank you, Bilal. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. Take care. Bye bye.